Before we get started, there are some things that I will need to go over. So in the game, there is a mechanic where you can dash. Typically, when you're in the air and you dash, you won't get your dash back. You'll see here, you don't get the dash back. It stays red. But there is a mechanic which we call dash, jump, dash, which is exactly what the name entails. If you dash and then jump straight after, in this game there is a coyote time in which after you go over a platform, you can still jump, you see there. So if I dash, because there's a time in which I was on the platform and off, it will still count me as being on the platform, so I can jump to get extra height. And then straight after that, you can also dash again. Now the jump isn't actually required, it's just used for extra height. See, if I dash, I can dash again. So if you dash off a platform, you can dash again. It is very important to note that because you will be using this a lot in levels. On top of this, another mechanic in this game which is incredibly vital for stacking speed is punching. You can see here, if I punch the ground, it gives me a boost upward. So the punch is actually directional. If I punch the floor, it gives me a boost upward, which is the opposite direction of the face that I punch. So if I punch a wall, it'll give me boost in the opposite direction of the way that the wall is facing. So with this information, if I were to start the level, dash, and then turn around and punch, you can see if you look at the speedometer up in the top left, if you look at the red value, which is my horizontal momentum, after I do the punch, I should go up about 300 speed, which is quite substantial, especially because this game's entire stick is stacking speed as fast as possible. So for this route, what is required is you will need to crouch. And the reason that you will need to crouch is because when you crouch, it lowers your hitbox or makes your hitbox smaller. But instead of your head going towards your feet, it is your feet going towards your head. And so if I'm in the air, you can see how my head doesn't go down. So instead my feet are getting pulled up, which means that I will be able to make gaps that you typically wouldn't be able to make. Like that. If I dash regularly there, I hit the wall. But because I was crouching, I can make it over the wall. So at the very beginning of the level, you can either toggle crouch by binding it in your inputs. Toggle crouch I have on left control. Or you can just hold crouch throughout the entire level. I would recommend holding it throughout the entire level, or you can toggle crouch. I personally hold, but it doesn't really matter. But also it's required for later on when you want to slide on the ground. Anyways, with that out of the way, we can start the route. Okay, so for this route, at the very beginning, what you want to do is you want to flick left of this pillar here, probably aim at this far one over here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that sets you up for the best line towards the finish. So after that flick, what you want to do is you want to dash, turn around and punch the first platform, like so. All this while crouching. Make sure that you are always crouching. So you want to turn around and punch the first platform, just like this. You can practice this if you'd like, you don't have to, but you can. So after this, what you want to do is you want to flick back towards the finish line and you want to dash again. So like that, dash, punch, dash, dash, punch, dash, dash, punch, dash, dash, punch, dash. It's basically, yeah, you just do that. So after the dash, punch, dash, you want to turn back around and punch the second platform. This can be a bit tight, so I'd recommend putting a bit of practice into this because it's quite a few 180s in a row. So it's a dash, punch, dash, punch. After this, what you want to do is you want to wait until the end of the third platform and punch the back of the third platform as well. There's two routes for this section. You can either do the punch on the back of the third platform or you can punch the top of it, in which you would have to then punch the back of the fourth platform. But for a faster run overall, I would recommend punching the back of the third platform. So you want to punch the back of the first three platforms, and then after that, what you want to do is you want to punch the top of the fourth platform. This will give you enough height to make this ledge here, which you wouldn't make regularly if you didn't punch the top. There's a very tight line in which you can do 4 punches and make it up here, but it is very precise and I would not recommend going for that. So you want to punch the back of the first one, second one, third one, and top of the fourth. Back of the second, third, and top of the fourth, like that. Once you make it up there, what you want to do is you want to look towards the finish, dash, and then shoot the three enemies while going towards the finish. It's really precise. The flicks are quite tricky. It does take quite a bit of practice, but you can get it quite consistently after a while. See, like I just hit it 4 times in a row there. So the way that I recommend doing the flicks is to do the one on the far right first. And the reason for that is because the last 2 are a lot simpler to do. And so if you get the first one out of the way, you can spend a bit more time looking at the first guy and then just do the last 2 flicks really quickly. Also, the enemy hitboxes are quite lenient, so that the shots don't have to be exactly on the target, but I would recommend trying to get them as close to the target as possible. So with this route, you should get between 3.8 and 3.9. Slower versions of the route could be due to poor line. So at the beginning here, if you over flick and then dash like inwards more like that, you see how I'm going not as quickly and I get a slower time. That was still Amethyst, but yeah. Another thing I recommend doing is at the very end, after you shoot the 3rd enemy, I would recommend dashing just so that you reach the finish line slightly quicker. Like this. Thank you very much for watching. I'm hoping on turning this into a sort of series. I know that people really want to learn the routes in order to beat the levels as quickly as possible, but some of them are really, really tricky, so I felt that it would be best if I just cover the Amethyst time, as the routes can be beginner friendly while also showing pro players how to do the routes really quickly. But yeah, so that's all for today. I hopefully will post again sometime soon. Let me know if you guys want to see more like this. Anyways, see you later.